Hello, welcome to episode 49 of How to Play Like a WoT Pro. Today I'm going to show you replay in the EBR-75 on the north spawn of Redshire. The equipment I use on this tank depends on the map. For maps with lots of bushes and where I'm trying to do a lot of scouting damage or spotting damage, I use Commander's Vision System, Vents, and Optics, and then Vents Directive. On maps where there's basically no bushes, like Himmelsdorf or Ensk, then I'll use Optics. You still need the Optics because the view range is so absolutely garbage. Vents Directive plus Vents, and then instead of Commander's Vision System, I'll use Improved Aiming Unit. Now you might be thinking that I should be using V-Stab instead, but the dispersion values on the move for this tank are pretty good, and there's a lot of times where I find myself sniping in this tank. I don't know, maybe it's just my playstyle, but I don't like YOLO in too often. And even when I do YOLO in, the dispersion values are so good that I don't really feel like I need the V-Stab. I feel like the improved aiming unit is more beneficial. But on this map in light tanks, there's a couple different plays that I like to make. So I brought the Commander's Vision System loadout this game. Now first of all, you can go to this bush here where the Progetto 46 is. And from there you'll be able to spot anybody, well not anybody, but you'll be able to spot slow tanks that are going towards this ridge here. You'll spot them in the beginning. You also spot anybody who's playing in this kind of area here if they get exposed at all, so this area here. But the reason why I don't like that position is because when there's two or more light tanks especially, and especially when one of those light tanks is a wheeled vehicle, you can sometimes just get YOLO'd and you'll get spotted, and then all these tanks on the ridge will just kill you. What I like to do instead, which I'm pretty sure I've shown in a previous video, is go to this bush right here. Because from this bush right here, not only do you spot this entire area, in case anybody's crossing, you can spot anybody who tries to poke up into these high bushes here, and especially if you have a Commander's Vision System, you'll outspot them, and you'll get free shots. Now I have HE loaded, and the reason why I have HE loaded is because I want to focus out their light tanks first. If by chance something like a Panther II gets spotted up here, then I'll just intuition to APCR. But I want to have the HE loaded just in case. Okay, I swear to God, I didn't know there was actually going to be a Panther II spotted there. That was literally just luck. But yeah, I intuition to APCR, but unfortunately it's a Scorpion who actually gets spotted, so I could have HE'd him, but I don't get away with that. But yeah, as you can see, there's already a Scorpion down just like that, and that's the power of this bush here, especially with CVS, Commander's Vision System. And I don't even get spotted for it either. I'm not exactly sure why, but I'll take it, right? Now the weird thing is their T92 still isn't lit, which makes no sense because where else could he be, honestly? I honestly don't know. It makes me think that he's AFK, but for now I'm just playing this position, going for opportunistic shots. So I get a couple into the IS-3. I really want to kill that Lynx if possible because he's a light tank and he limits a lot of what I'm able to do. But I can't find a shot on him, so I just shoot the IS-3 instead. And their view range just isn't good enough to spot me at this point in the game. Now here, right here, what I'm thinking is this Panther II, he's distracted. He's not paying attention to me, he's looking this way. What I want to do is make a little loop like this. I'll be unspotted here, so I can make a loop. I can turn around, and then I only will get spotted when I crest this ridge, shoot him twice, and then dip back down into the low ground. And as you'll see in a second, when I dip back down, I immediately try to make it over to this area here. Now why do I do that? Well, as you can see, I just got shot by the AMBT, so if I just crested back over and I played in this area here, the AMBT from over here would have shots on me. So that's why whenever I'm lit, I try to stay in this area here. It's only when I get unlit that I can play these bushes and do other stuff. But then I noticed that the 122 TM is playing over here, and now it's time to back off because I can't really play these bushes with this Panther 2 here because he'll proxy spot me. So I decided to leave for now, at least. I see this T92 running, and I'm hoping to get a shot into him. Unfortunately, I don't. I get some weird spotting on this guy. I don't exactly know how that happened. I probably spotted him through this bush here, but I didn't even notice it at the time. I get a quick shot into the 122 TM, and then I spot the Lynx, and he's a one-shot, so I really want to kill him. So I auto-aim him, and then I take a terrible shot. I don't exactly know what was wrong with that shot, to be honest. I don't know if I fired too early or something, but either way I miss him, which is really bad for me. But I'm a god, so I just predict his movement patterns and I ram kill him. And I only take 40 damage because I have controlled impact on this thing, because I have like 9 crew skills on this thing. So yeah, that's nice. I only have to pay 40 damage to kill the Lynx after missing him. But now, as you can see, this is a close game. We're losing the west flank. We're okay on the east flank for now, but in general, this side of the map has a disadvantage on this flank. And that's because if they back off, anybody from here can shoot them. And there's also this very OP position right here, which can shoot people hull down, basically. And so there's a good chance that we're going to lose the zero line. And so I'm keeping that in mind. But they have a bunch of tanks on the west flank right now, and I want to prevent them from advancing through the west flank. So I'm setting up here in these bushes where I'll get good vision on this cross here. But in the meantime, a T92 gets lit, so I might as well shoot him for free. Now keep in mind their AMBT, who has been unlit, we know that he's playing around here, at least he was. So I need to try to stay safe from him while I take out this T92. And I kind of didn't exactly, my movement was pretty terrible there, to be honest. And I could get shot by the AMBT, so that was kind of a mistake by me, but it ends up working out because I don't get shot at all. But here comes the KV-5. I've already got my heat preloaded. Now pinning the KV-5 with only 220 millimeters of penetration is, especially with heat, is just not exactly easy. It's got like 150 millimeters of side armor or something. But if I aim correctly, I should be able to pen most of my shots, especially if his turret is turned sideways. So that's what I'm going for here. Trying to pen him with every shot. And I do. At least those 2 shots. Now we're still down like 2,000 HP, but right now I'm just I'm going for the pens on that guy. The second shot I didn't give quite enough lead. First shot was just unlucky, I think. And I pen him again. Now, as you can see, our Skoda T56 just died on the zero line. I'm expecting us to lose the zero line, but to be honest, I haven't actually looked at the HP over here, so it's possible we could win it. But when I was playing this game, I was just under the assumption that we're probably going to eventually lose this. But if you look at the enemy team, look at who's spotted. Literally everybody except the Arty. So what does that mean for me? First of all, their AMBT just got spotted down here, so that means he's not playing the outside here. Outside here. So if I get spotted over here, it doesn't really matter, because nobody will be able to shoot me. Unless their VK is somehow in a weird spot to shoot me. So, everybody else is spotted over here. That means that this whole area is open for me, and I can use these bushes to try to outspot people on the one line. I can try to outspot this VK, all kinds of stuff. I can try to find the Arty. So I take this opportunity to move up here, and this is kind of this is one of those plays where it's not something that you can learn just by watching other people play the game. This is one of those decisions that you have to make based on your own logical reasoning skills. You have to look at the map, see what's spotted, and see what you can get away with. And that's really what it's all about when playing light tanks. That's what separates the good light tank players from the great light tank players. Is knowing what you can get away with, knowing what opportunities there are for you. Here the AMBT overexposes on the flank, or over there I guess. I don't quite get the kill on him, unfortunately. I am firing heat, which is possibly a mistake because they still have a lot of heavy tanks, so I should probably save the heat, but it's not a huge deal. And his VK, he has no idea what he's doing. I double bush against him. As you can see, everybody over here got spotted, so I'm 100% positive that nobody's going to be in this area to spot me from the rear when I fire. So I have no anxiety about getting spotted when shooting this guy, so I don't even bother backing up as soon as I fire or anything like that. And there I waste another heat shell, which is kind of unfortunate. And now if you look at the map, everybody's spotted except the Artie. I have two basic decisions right now. Go for the Artie and flank behind these guys and shoot them in the back, or come over here and trap these guys in the corner. Because if I'm playing on this ridge, they can't come out this way without me shooting them, they can't come this way without me shooting them, they're stuck here. And as you can see, this game is still close, so this decision is kind of important. And what I decided to do is I decided to go behind these guys. Honestly, either decision would have been an okay decision in this situation, but I decided to go for this one. And the main reason why I do this decision is because I'm expecting this low to die because he's in a 3v1. And if I trap them in this corner, we're still just gonna lose this flank. So I'm eventually gonna have to do something, because if we lose this flank and then these guys are stuck here, I'm eventually gonna get sandwiched. So my goal is to win one of the flanks. I'm never gonna win this flank by sitting up here because they have a dip that they can just hide in. This flank, on the other hand, I can get behind them and start shooting them in the back, and then we have a presence in front of them, so they're basically getting sandwiched. I can't really sandwich these guys because I'd have to go all the way to the corner to sandwich them between me and the low, but I'm expecting the low to die very soon. As you can see, it shows he has full HP, but he's out of my render, so I'm expecting him to die. As you'll see in a second though, that's not actually what happens. Somehow, this low wins a 1v3, which is not what I expected. So that's why I didn't make that decision to support the low, because I thought he was a gunner. But it turns out he's not. But I still stand by this decision. I think it was the right decision to flank them. I see the Artie fire. I know he's somewhere around this area here. But I decided to take the shots on the Skoda first because he's a more important target. I spot the Artie. As you can see, I have HE loaded so that I can two-shot him. And unfortunately, their AMBT hits a shot on me, which was kind of lucky for him, I think. Because I was only spotted for like 2 seconds, so unless he was pre-aimed on me, because he has very good intuition or whatever, it's pretty unlikely that he would be able to hit me in that situation, so he kind of gets lucky there in my opinion, unless he pre-aimed me. But I make sure to get unspotted, and then now I'm trying to see if anybody's trying to push towards me. I load heat just because whatever it is that I spot over here, I'm probably going to need heat to pen them reliably. But I don't really think that I can get any closer, because I'm assuming that the Skoda drove forward, or at least that he's pointed towards me so I can't pen him easily. And the main reason why I can't close in over here is because I'm almost positive that their AMBT is going to be sitting in this bush, and I can't outspot him in the open. If I'm just driving through the open, he's just going to spot me first and then I'm going to die. And I'm a one-shot, so I can't really afford to do that. So instead what I decided to do is head back towards the low and try to help him out, because I see now that he killed 2 of their tanks. And he actually wins. He wins the 3v1, so not exactly sure how that happened. Not exactly sure how this Scorpion found a shot onto their KV5, but either way, that's a good thing for our team, so. I mean, this game would have been more interesting if we had lost our low, because then it would have been like a 3 versus like 5 or 6. So I'm kind of disappointed that that didn't happen, but our low did a good job and he finished him off. Now here, I'm expecting their AMBT to be sitting in this bush. So I'm trying to spot check that bush. I'm trying to drive through the buildings, see if I get spotted, see if I outlight him. Decide not to go for a blind shot there. In retrospect, maybe it would have been the right play, I'm not sure. But I'm already up to 4.7k damage and 1700 spotting, which is a very good game for an EBR 75. But I don't get lit by this guy, I don't spot him. So what I decide to do is I decide to approach from this angle, because if I approach from this angle, then there's a good chance that one of these guys will kill me. If I come from this angle, then I can kind of just do a loop on this ridge, and he has to over poke in order to kill me, and this Scorpion will be covering me. So I feel confident approaching from this angle. Because look at this. I can do a little run here, I can spot if he's behind the rock, and then I can get into safety. If I come from the other angle, I simply can't do that. He'll just poke around the rock and kill me. So that's why I decided to approach from this angle. But as it turns out, he's not actually there at all. So that's where I expected him to be, but that's not where he is. So now what I'm expecting the AMBT to have pushed somewhere like this. Or at least there hasn't been vision on this area in a while, because I was in the buildings, I didn't have any vision on this. So in the back of my mind, I'm realizing if I decide to poke up here and shoot their heavies in the side, like their Skoda, if he's still here, potentially, there's a chance that somebody from over here, their AMBT most likely, will be able to shoot me. So I need to use this rock for cover if I decide to poke up here and shoot their Skoda. So I think that's exactly what I do. Their Skoda gets lit, he's still there, which is good for us. I rushed this shot a little bit. I should have aimed a little bit more, but it was still pretty unlucky. As you can see, I run away because I'm aware of the fact that their AMBT might be here, and I didn't stay right behind the rock because I know there's still a chance that their AMBT is playing in this low ground here, like right here. And if I stay behind the rock, then there's a chance he can get the jump on me either by going low or going high. And so I decided to just get out entirely. Now here I think I make a mistake. So I've been spotted for probably like 6 or 7 seconds at this point. So I do a little loop, I get into cover, but as you can see, before I'm unspotted, I start doing a loop back forward as if I were going to poke these guys. Now what I should have done here is just stayed in the low ground until I got fully unspotted so that they didn't know that I'm coming back up. But as you'll see, they realize I'm coming back up. I try to do a little scout run. This Skoda backs up, probably because I was still spotted. I load HE for him. Their AMBT is a one-shot as well, but I don't think he's a one-shot for HE unless I somehow pen him. And I'm hoping to get this Skoda next. But really, if you look at the score right now, we're only up 700 HP. This is still a very close game. So I'm playing probably too risky right now. I should be playing more cautiously. I should be waiting for my team. Our low is still all the way over here. This is too aggressive in my opinion. It's kind of greedy. I want the damage, but... And as you can see, boom. Their AMBT, he was sitting here all along, and he comes low, and he catches me off guard, and he kills me before I can snapshot him. Even if I did snapshot him, there's not a guarantee that I would kill him with HE. Most likely I wouldn't. It would probably do like 40 damage. So I end up dying. Still a really good game, like 4.9k damage, 1700 spotting, and luckily our low is just a beast player, and he manages to snipe this AMBT right before he gets unspotted. I didn't actually check our low's win rate or anything, but I'm assuming he's a decent player because he held off 3 tanks, which, you know, a 45%er probably wouldn't be able to do. But either way, we get lucky. If their Skoda had stayed in this position right here, there's a very good chance we would have lost this game. But instead he went over here, and he gave up this extremely powerful position. This position completely shuts down anybody who wants to push around this corner, basically. But for some reason he gives up that position, so... And as you can see in the chat, I even said somebody go all the way around. I wanted our low to go all the way over here, so that if their Skoda pokes up here, then he would just shoot him in the side. But it doesn't end up mattering because their Skoda went to the wrong location and our Scorpion took him out somehow. Well, he was kind of in the open, so I guess I shouldn't say somehow, he just took him out. Now our Scorpion is playing things correctly now. He's backing off. And really, when you're in a 2v1 situation, as long as you guys are faster than the enemy tank, you should never lose. Unless you're in a very specific situation where the cover that you're allowed is just doesn't work out for you. But in this situation, there's all sorts of obstacles that you can bait him around. And you should never lose in this situation, even if he's full HP. Because basically, one of you kites while the other one shoots him. If he turns one way, then the guy who's on the other side pokes and shoots him. If he turns the other way, then this guy will poke and shoot him. And the only way he can win is if he's faster than one of you two, and he chases you down. So this should be a guaranteed win, but it's Pubby's playing, so it's never really a guaranteed. But as you'll see, we end up actually winning this game, so we'll see in a second. Alright, there we go. So, let me show you the post-game stats real quick. We have, let me check. Yeah, this is working. 4,900 damage, 1,800 spotting, 3 kills, 1563 base XP. Not the most base XP, I guess, because I was shooting other tier 8s. Maybe I was shooting out of render, or out of my spotting range a little bit, I'm not sure. Shooting targets that I wasn't lighting myself, I guess is what I mean. Made 160k credits. So yeah, pretty good game. And hopefully that taught you a little bit about how to play a light tank on this map. There are some medium tanks that you can get away with that initial play with, going to E3 and going into the high bush. But you have to be a little bit careful in a medium tank because you're not quite fast enough to shoot and then get out of the bush. And a lot of medium tanks have bad gun depression over their rear. So for example, an E50M, there's just basically no way you can use that bush reliably. There's a good chance you'll get shot from over here before you can pull back, or their light tank will outspot you through the bush. It's really, this bush is best made for light tanks. But there are some situations where you can use a medium there, like a Batchat or something. So yeah, hopefully that taught you something about this map. Thanks for watching, and there should be another video tomorrow, so see you later. Goodbye.